Hope well. So it's January 2021, so a quick video on the Tamiya Flakpanzer Gepard. So just open this up. This is the radar part here. So what I've had to do, I've had to replace both motors, this motor here plus this motor here. General motors got off eBay. This one here is a perfect fit, and this one here I had to modify the mount ever so slightly. That's all, just with a Dremel. Otherwise it's all sorted. Reason was is these motors were both intermittent, and I did take this one here apart and have a look inside it, but basically it was just full of crud. The little brush parts were damaged, etc. I also had to like resolder, say, all the wiring on. And also on the soldering on these, you have to solder one quickly, straight to solder one. You can't have the solder on there too long, otherwise everything melts. So the motor here does work, and it now obviously works and spins round in conjunction with this. But as you can see here, there's no plastic cog, so that's missing. I've got the other part there, but not that. So at the moment, I can't get obviously the radar to spin around, obviously. But I've got the manual, so I'll look in here and try and find that part. It might be this a generic cog or gear of some type from Tamiya, but I know that parts for these are incredibly rare. So yeah, so I put the aerial through here. Take this off carefully. So let me put the phone down very briefly. You can excuse the camera web. So this is just done for a bit of fun for everyone. Right, getting in here. Let me just focus this. Okay, cool. As you can see, I've sort of resoldered all the wiring on here. Put in some new wiring in here. That's a brand new motor there. Cleaned off all the gearbox. That was basically sort of partially seized, so that's now sorted. Now the problem with this tank here is the way that this white wire here, which is the power wire, goes round onto a little bit of metal just there, which you can see rests against this sort of cotton reel style here. And the actual wire, the white wire, attaches underneath that piece of that metal band, and then it's insulated by the plastic sort of around it. So the power goes up the white wire into this sort of L-shaped piece of metal, and then transfers power. Sorry, that goes from the white wire, to the metal piece here. Then that power then is transferred through this L piece here, and then down into these two blue wires here, which then power the motor, and then the other blue wire on this loom. Earths on various points, so earths, two earth points there. One point originally earthed on here, but since I've been testing it today, it doesn't need to earth on there. So what I'll do is I'll screw it back in again later now that I've just seen it. But yeah, that all works nicely. Inside here, I've just taken that for a run in the garden. Let's focus that quickly. It's really good condition. So I've stickered all of the original servos on here. Now these original servos, they have a square horn underneath those plastic horn parts there. So it's square, so you can't do fine adjustments. Unfortunately, you know, the clutch is dead straight there. That's on the WAS because you only get 4 adjustments. You have it there, or you have it, you know, like this. So obviously this is an early design. I'm going to leave them as it is because they're original, but obviously the newer ones, made from the early 80s, obviously way better. They have the splines on them. So just early random design until someone thought, you know what, let's put splines on it, which is cool. So yeah, so we turn the power on the transmitter. Turn it on here. Adjust it down on there. Then we've got the motor, we've got the power wire, power switch here. And again, apologies for camera work here, but this is all just for a bit of fun. That's all. Put it on there. On loosely. Excuse me. Cool. Okay. Now put that up. Now obviously that would normally spin around, but the cog's missing. So now we'll get some throttle on here. So you can see that when you give it left or right, it actuates a small speed control here, which powers this. And basically, this gun is obviously got a rotating mechanism, which also attaches to the gearbox, which turns this. Now, where I mentioned that white wire, the power wire going to that cotton reel style device. It obviously wraps round it, so if you go pretty much past about here, this sort of angle here, the white wire then gets trapped underneath that little L-shaped piece of metal, which then obviously cuts out power, so then you can't go anyway until you take the shell off and put your finger in there and kind of wiggle it slightly, or force this round, which you can force this round, because the way it's designed you can actually force it, but obviously I don't want to force anything particularly because it's super old, super rare. So I just know now, based on my couple of tests, it's not really to go past about this sort of distance. I mean, I probably could go a bit there, but there's no point. About here to about here is good enough. It's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. And obviously I'd like this to spin round, so I will be looking in this manual later to try and find that, because when you operate that, obviously that little motor spins, so that would be pretty cool to have that operating at the same time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the screws back in here, and at some point I'll get myself a little some sort of tripod-y thing that holds a phone, but this is just for informational purposes and all that sort of stuff. I can't be able to edit it. People can watch it and they can scan through all this sort of stuff if they want to. It's all good. Cool. Right, that is about right. So now I'm going to turn on the power to here in a second. So put that tank outside. Perfect. Put that on. Get hold of this. Also, I'm holding it one-handed, so I clearly can't do the turret. I don't want to do it too much. Sort of cut. I mean, the clutch does work incredibly well, as you can see here. So yeah, a bit more operation of the Flakpanzer. Let's go. Let's go. The old turret. That's cool. That's just a good way to ruin your paint and your decking. Quite long grass, so I'm really careful of it. So maybe this is a model number. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Perfect. Okay, there we go. There is. Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that vehicle.